In this video, we're going to have a talk with Native from Four Winds Survival School and the E.C.O Survival Group, and we're going to get a little bit into his story and his background, and it's very interesting. And that's all I'm going to say about this. You got to watch the video to see the rest of it. But that's what's coming up next on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. I'm here with Native from the E.C.O Survival Group. Native, thanks for taking time, man. I really appreciate it. And been out here all weekend with the inaugural event for the E.C.O Survival Group. It's a group of survival instructors, and it's kind of like a coalition that Native is kind of was instrumental in putting together. He's one of the founders. And I'll just shut up now. Native, tell us a little bit about how you got the idea for this, and a little bit about your background.
So I'm Native. I own Four Winds Survival School. Also am one of the founders of E.C.O Survival Group. So a little bit of my backstory is I was raised completely self-sufficient and off-grid. 32 years old, never lived in a house with central heating and air, born at home, never attended a public school, and grew up trapping, hunting, you know, just whatever it took to actually live. And today they call it survival. To us, it was just living day by day.
So you were homeschooled?
I was homeschooled.
My kids homeschooled too.
And, you know, it kind of got to the point to where you get kind of bored. I was the younger boy. And I was ready to transition my life, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. So I ended up going out west and had decided with one of my best friends that we were going to ride horses across the state of Utah. That was my vision quest. That was what changed my life. To make it short, within the first 3 days, we were in a hailstorm, thunder, lightning, over 9,000 feet above sea level. At the end of July, one of the most historical blizzards hit Utah. If you go back, look 14 years ago, you will see this event. We were stuck in the Parenting Uinta mountain range, 70-mile-plus-mile-an-hour winds, snow, rain. I mean, it was just everything bad that you can think that you would see on a television show or you would see on a movie. It took place, and kind of got to that point where core temperature had dropped, going into second stages of hypothermia, starting to cough up blood, and we finally figured a way off the mountain after being pinned down for about 6 hours. I am a survivor of hypothermia, giardia, and cryptosporidium, which I have self-treated all three in the field. And, you know, it's one of the things that I knew, and I call it my vision quest, because when I come off of that experiment, I knew the experience. I knew then I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to teach what I had experienced. And so when I created Four Winds Survival School, I wanted to teach outside of the box and then come up with the idea for E.C.O Coalition. And to me, the E.C.O Coalition or E.C.O Survival Group, it's more than just guys on television. So to me, reality of survival has been completely watered down to the point where someone can watch a survival show and watch someone who has a clue what they're doing, and then they come off, they're popular. They're basically the Kardashians of survival. And it's like, it's like, come on, man. What are you teaching? You know, they've got tents behind them. They've got medic. And there's very few shows that are legitimate. And one of them is History Channel's alone. And so one of the things we put together with E.C.O Survival Group, we didn't want just reality television stars. We wanted guys that had legitimate experience, that actually faced death, faced anxiety, faced fear, and had experienced that. And I think that's one of the biggest things lacking in schools. How can you as an instructor teach someone survival when survival is hands down 99% psychology?
Right.
How can you teach that when you've never experienced it? So we've put together a group of legitimate, experienced survival instructors. They're elite instructors, without a doubt. We've covered everything from the Sahara Desert to the Norwegian mountain range, northern Canada, the south swamps, the southern swamp, the Georgia Intercoastal Waterway. And we can walk through, we're teaching the same fundamentals, the same ideology, but we're bringing and building a different structure with each instructor. And in today's world, when we're teaching everything from tactical skills to indigenous skills, there's not a school out there that's doing that and that's doing it properly. Do you want to learn from a guy who's went and shot 10,000 rounds in his backyard, or do you want to learn from a guy with a dent in his armor?
Brought a king cobra from another.
That says a lot.
Well, I can say that and I've been here 2 days, right? So it's not been like a long-term immersive situation. But last night, I got my very first ever bow drill fire from natural made, on-site made set. I mean, I've done one before, like on stuff I bought at Home Depot, so that was good.
It was euphorical.
It was. I threw my first atlatl this morning. Just a lot of different. And
you threw it well too, by the way. That was awesome.
I hit the thing.
No,
anyway.
you had power. That was awesome.
But and I've said this in some of the other videos with some of the other instructors, because I did one with everybody, that one of the things I like about what I saw here this weekend, this was the inaugural event, so it's kind of like you did a whole lot of just kind of introductions to here's this instructor,
demonstration,
that instructor, but there's a lot of hands-on stuff here. But what I didn't see, I didn't see a bunch of egos from people, and that's something that I think some people get intimidated by the thought of going to a class because their instructor has this. He may be very, very skilled and knowledgeable and have a lot of skills, but his persona is like, it's all about me and look at me, and I'm such an egotistical guy that just comes through, and people are intimidated, so they don't even take that step to go learn,
Right.
And everybody here is just real people.
Well, that's why we're
very,
called,
very cool.
That's why we're called E.C.O Survival Group and not Ego Survival Group. I mean, it's what I like to look at is every time a student comes in, I learn something. I get goosebumps when I think about this, because the last thing that I want to be is a know-it-all. The last thing that I want to portray is that I know everything, and I will call any instructor out. I'm just being frank about this, and again, with no ego. I'm just being real. Let's bring reality in. If you can say you can go, I've wildcrafted a friction fire in almost every state in the United States and outside of the United States as well. And I'm the first guy to tell you that there's no such thing as a survival expert, and B, you're a liar if you can go out and guarantee that you can find and wildcraft a friction fire on the fly immediately. It's going to take time. Sometimes it'll happen. Matter of fact, we were teaching a foxfire the last weekend. I got the fastest friction fire I've ever got. I had a kit that I made right there on the spot. Once the spindle touched the fireboard, it was under 10 seconds. I had a cold. It was like, I don't know if the oxygen was blowing. Something happened randomly I've never seen before. That being said, we're here learning with you guys because that's going to help further us in our teachings, because you're going to be different. This guy over here may be different. So we're students as well, but we're learning together. But the difference is we can translate in layman terms what it takes to actually walk in the wild and survive on an experience level. And what I want to teach someone more than anything, I want you to understand yourself. So looking at friction fire, I teach friction fire differently almost than any other instructor out there. So I want to start backwards. I want to devolve and show you what not to do and help build your structure, build your technique so that you can have fire.
Absolutely. It was very rewarding to do that too. By the way, I didn't do really well on the hand drill. What a hand drill will give you is a whole bunch of really nice blisters. So at least until you get that skill learned up. So, but the bow drill was a lot kinder and gentler method. So I want to change gears just for a minute, because I would consider you a really interesting guy. My last two kids were born at home with the aid of a midwife and prenatal care and all that. And my understanding is that your child was born at home also with the aid of you.
Yeah. It's I cut up with a lot of students. We get done with classes and we've been roughing it, camping out, and I'm going home pretty much doing the same thing, just a little bit more modern twist. So I live 100% self-sufficient, as you know, with my family. And matter of fact, one of the things, everybody, I grew up as a prepper, a cowboy prepper, we'll say it like that. And one of the things that growing up on a homestead, you learn what works and you learn what doesn't work. And I think the ultimate fear is being able to birth a child. Can you handle that? All I'm there is coaching. You know what I'm saying? One of the beautiful things is right before the delivery of my little girl, she's 7 years old. It cost us $72 and some change. We bought everything at the Dollar General store. The only thing that we didn't buy was a scale. We borrowed one. And we didn't know what it was, never had checkup, didn't know what it was until it popped out, and we named her 3 days later. And so it's like, when you're to that position, to that point, what if you have to do that? And in my situation, the way I live, we're traveling all over the place. I don't never know what kind of a situation that I'm in. And then people ask, they say, man, you do a lot of adventures. No, an adventurer is someone who walks into the wild. They don't have a clue what's going on or what's happening, and they're not prepared for it. I am an explorer. I go into the wild expecting things to happen, and at the same time, I'm ready for it, but I can't control it. Only thing I want to do is adjust to it. So on a homesteading perspective, we live it every day, and it's difficult. You know, I see a lot of crazy memes out there, and it's like, people, would you do this for this much money? We do it every day, and it's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, but you know, I met your wife last night, and she doesn't seem like she's just beat down and horrible and miserable either. So obviously something's working, right?
Yeah, I paid her off before she come over. You know,
she brought some chicken.
Yeah, she did. She brought some chicken, and you know, that's another thing. Is it's a team. You know, if it's not all about me, it can't be all about her. It has to be a team effort, because we lived for 3 years on just on oil lamps before I understood solar power, without electricity, without, you know, we had heat from a wood burning stove. But it really shows you the power of fire, because we're heating, cooking, you know, forging, anything that needs on a homestead. So learning that team building, I'm telling you, that's the key.
That's very interesting too. So shift back into the E.C.O survival group. So this again was the inaugural event. You're going to be creating other events in the future coming up, and so they're going to be. We're here east of Atlanta right now, about probably an hour east of Atlanta.
Right.
What in Georgia, which is where I'm from. We're kind of from. So what you got planned going forward?
So we've got several classes coming up. We're going to be doing a knife only class, which is going to be cool. We're also going to be doing an indigenous style class on the river. And one of the things when we're on the river, we also do this class during the winter as well, because it puts people outside of their comfort zone, outside of a controlled environment. If they fall in the water, they could get hypothermia. And I'm there's one other company, or one other class, school that teaches. They're far in the Northeast. They do river trips. I'm the only one in the Southeastern region that is doing this. Some people are seeing it and they're starting to transition to it as well. But we like to put people out there, put them in that mindset, you know, and make them catch their own food, make them purify their own water in a legitimate situation that's not a course. Right,
cool. And so people can find out more by going to
ecosurvivalgroup.com.
There you go. There'll be a link in the description below. ecosurvivalgroup.com.
ecosurvivalgroup.com. The Eco Survival Group Facebook page. Four Winds Survival School Facebook page as well, or fourwindsurvivalschool.org, and that is the number 4.
And you got, like, right now, the list of instructors you've got is very impressive.
Oh my
starting
goodness.
with yourself, you got.
I'm just a
probably
peon.
missed somebody. You got Alan Kay, who's on alone, and he's got a background in law
56
enforcement
days.
and survival.
Yeah.
You got Justin Vidito, who's also on alone, and he was a military sniper for years and years. He's got a really good background. You got Justin Cook. I'm probably going to forget somebody.
Yeah.
Who's
Justin Cook.
Primitive weapons expert.
He's a world's class primitive expert.
He was on Men, Women, Wild.
Discovery Channel's Men, Women, Wild.
And survived for, like, I don't know how many.
26 days.
26 days in Iceland or
no, Norway.
Norway, somewhere where it's really cold, man.
7 degrees above the Arctic Circle, pretty much.
Then you've got
Cowie Moorhead.
Who's
is an amazing guy. He's trained with, spent a lot of time. There's some things I can't go into Cowie. He's under contract with Discovery right now. So
you don't mention him?
No. Yeah, no, he's good. Cowie's great.
Everything from primitive skills to martial arts. He's a great guy.
He is. And then primitive skills as well. Him and Justin are a lot alike, but Cowie's like this tough bull of the wood hippie. It's just awesome. He's trained with Matt Graham. He's trained with a lot of really good guys.
And so who else?
There's Lee Brown.
Lee Brown, who's a graduate of Four Winds Survival School.
That's right.
Good old Georgia boy, just taking it to the next level and taking what he's learned and sharing it with other people. Bottom line, you got, like you said, guys that walk the walk and have verifiable, demonstrated, experience and skills. And again, I've said it before, and I said it a minute ago. What I liked about it is, you know what? They're all relatable, and nobody's here like trying to show off. You know what I mean? Nobody's like, look at me. It's all about, let's look at you and see what you can learn. And I learned a whole lot this weekend.
I appreciate you being here. Nobody knows what to expect when they come in.
I mean, it's not hard to pour information into an empty vessel. But I did, but I did learn a lot.
We like to think we're more than just a school. All of our students, we create a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and it's like we want everyone out. We want
You
different.
got to meet Bear the dog too.
Bears, man, this is Justin Vitito's dog. It's just an amazing time, and we want all creeds, cultures, and we want to see. We're trying to pull more ladies into classes as well, because I don't think that's pushed enough.
Yeah, well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to do what you do at home if it was all you and your wife was like griping at you because you don't have any air conditioning.
I'm telling you. Hey, the first time it ever went out, though, man, I thought she was going to shoot me. Like, we were sitting there, the power went out. I didn't know nothing about solar. The buzzer went off. We actually wrote a big article about this. And I woke up, and she's just kind of looking at me. We had nothing. Again, we knew nothing about solar power. And I did go out and buy a window unit, and I put it in. It's the middle of a hot Georgia summer, humid. And next thing you know, buzzer's going off. And all of a sudden, everything goes black in the house. She looked at me. She said, "You didn't do something right." And I'm like, "Oh snap! Look out!" Like it was like a death warrant, you know.
So you go for years without it, but once you got it, you don't want to lose it.
Oh, I'm telling you, it only lasted for like a few days, and then we chunked it. We're like, okay, I got to figure out solar power first, and then we just transition without it. And it's not a big deal. Yeah. It's also strategic building, proper insulation, and I'd love to have you guys out sometime.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. That'd be a very interesting video. Well, I know we got to get to another module in the class here, but thanks so much for taking time, Native.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
If you're looking for some really down-to-earth, real-world, but extremely competent survival training, I really encourage you to check out E.C.O Survival Group. And I'm not just saying that because they're Georgia guys and I like them. They really are. Everybody is on top of their game, and you won't get a lot of ego. I'm seriously doing it. Just real-world people that are genuinely interested in making sure that you come away. At least that's my experience. Genuinely interested in making sure that you come away with not just a good experience, but come away with whatever you were trying to achieve accomplished. And so, to me, that's a mark. That's.
I'd like to add one last thing real quick too. We're doing a lot more than just survival classes.
Yes.
We're offering consulting for whether it's corporations, for people traveling overseas, dealing with risk mitigation, risk assessment, international travel risk assessment, and that's something that is overlooked. So. Check us out, man. You guys are awesome.
Because you cover the whole gamut from primitive to tactical, which I think is another thing that's just probably lacking in a lot of places.
Well, you're legit, and your perseverance is legit, by the way. So, and I'm not just saying this because we're on camera. Like, I work with a lot of people that give up. You didn't give up, and that's awesome.
Well, it's you can't give up, right? So, anyway, thanks again. I know we got to get to the other class. I really appreciate you taking the time. As always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. You know what I'm about to say. I put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday, and very often random videos throughout the week. Just click right over here. You can watch another one. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please click down here in the corner and do that. I'd really appreciate it. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared and get some training. I'll see you next time.